Moose is in the house. Moose is in the house. Watch out. Watch out. Here's Moosey.
Hey, y'all, what's good? What's good? Hope you're doing okay. Uno momento, my camera's a little high. How y'all doing? Doing good? The moose is loose, the moose is loose. Watch out. Watch out. Dude, what a fucking movie, man. If you guys haven't watched The Fanatic, it's not like a so bad it's funny. It's like really boring for most of it. But it is one of the best movies I think I've seen John Travolta in, so you know, not Saturday Night Fever and Pulp Fiction notwithstanding. it's a distant third, but I think it's third. The clip that movie is from, it's called The Fanatic, and directed by Fred Durst, and it has an entire scene. This isn't like the best part of the movie or anything, but it is like fantastic. There's an entire scene where a dad is just blasting fucking Limp Bizkit in his car and explaining, like mansplaining to his son, like the meme of like the guy talking to the girl's ear at the bar about how sick Limp Bizkit is. And I think if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna direct a movie, you gotta do it like that. You have to just have like a 5-minute scene where you talk about how you're the shit. Because what is directing a movie if not like, you know, masturbation to some degree, right? You might as well go whole hog. It's very sick. The movie's not about that. That's just a thing that happens in the movie. It's a real it's a real Richard Linklater kind of slice of life moment in the movie. It's pretty cerebral. Blasting clown music and talking about MR2. Just blast it at my kids like I'm gonna kill myself. And they'd be right to do it. Anyway, how are y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I got more news about the fight. So my fight is happening this Saturday. And there was a lot of drama. A lot has happened since last Monday, since I last streamed. I had a fight scheduled, and originally 3 other people from my gym had a fight scheduled as well. My gym, gloves up, represent, let's go, baby. One of them and I had our fights like guaranteed, and then another guy got like a fight guaranteed like last minute. One of the fighters is without a fight right now because, you know, the guy dropped out. People have been dropping out left and right for this. It's not a particularly well-organized event, unfortunately. The people who I've been talking to who are like helping run it are angels. They're doing their best, but it seems like they're not being, you know, given the tools to succeed, as it were. That's just the vibe I get. But on the exact same day, last Tuesday, so the day after the stream, when I was talking about, you know, I've had my opponent for a month now, maybe 2 months. I've been like prepping, and there's so much visualization in boxing, right? And or any contact sport at all, like even like football or whatever, rugby, which I, you know, played, where you get the idea of like who is the guy you're gonna fight. And then you're just like focused on that. And then life happens, and that guy falls off a ladder. And he hurts himself pretty bad to the point where he can no longer fight. I don't know how much more intense his injuries are beyond that, but I do wish him well. I hope he has a speedy recovery. But it left me without a fight. And then on the exact same day, this other guy at my gym who was fighting, his opponent broke his nose. So last Tuesday, we found out that we went from having 3 fights, 4 fighters at the gym, 3 confirmed fights, down to 1 confirmed fight. And then the day after, the day after, the gym where the guy broke his nose was like, we have 1 additional fighter as a backup we can send you. Obviously, that doesn't cover both your guys, but, you know, it's 1 guy. And so coach made me and the other guy fight for it. And so we had to actually have a match. Me and him, like, not going full power because, you know, you don't want to injure your teammate, especially if we both get fights scheduled. But I did end up winning, and I want to show you one quick frame by frame. I'm not going to show you the videos because, you know, they're private, but I want to show you if I do this and then I go to the next one, will it work? If I open and then I open this. Okay, I can open both. Okay, so here, one sec. Okay, they're in the same weight class. Yeah, it's annoying. How often do you think about who you're gonna fight? Do you have to change up your strat for a fight? How different can two fighters be? Wildly different. Wildly different. Height makes a huge difference. Weight, I mean, weight, you're supposed to be in the same weight class, but it can matter a little bit. Sound like a complete noob, but like in MMA or boxing, people allowed to imply other fighting styles. MMA, it's even worse because you get guys who are like specifically just grapplers and they're going to go for submission. You get guys who are specifically just strikers and they're going to try and knock you out while they're standing up. So having defense against one or the other and implementing your own game plans, super important. How much difference can 10 pounds make? I lost 10 pounds and I went from like having to relax on like punching people in the liver or the ribs to like being able to go like 50% and like not hurting them. Because when I was at like 175, 180, just the extra weight, even though I was like fat, I'm fat is not like I wasn't like an obese person, but like, you know, I was bigger. I had more fat on me. The extra weight, the extra momentum. I had plenty of sparring matches where I threw a punch at like 30% to the ribs and they were just like, I'm done for the day. And now, you know, 30% of that doesn't happen anymore. But boxing, the biggest thing is you prepare for the fighter's reach. You prepare for how tall they are, and you try to adjust based on that. So I'm not short for my weight class. I have a decent, I have a long reach for my weight class, but I am 5'9", fighting at 165. From that, you'll get anywhere between like 5'7" and like 6'2". You'll get like people in that range, just depending on if they weigh 165 or not. But obviously, as you can imagine, someone who is 4 inches taller than you is going to have a very easy time like keeping you out. And because amateur is more about points, like they're not expecting a lot of knockouts. It's very knockout resistant in the sense that if you get punched 100 times, but like you land one or two big punches that like rock your opponent, if they don't go down, you lose. Whereas with, you know, a pro fight, it's more about vibes. Of course, they're counting punches. They're seeing who hit more, who's the aggressor more, whatever, right? But if you like knock down your opponent once, you've won the round basically in a heavyweight fight, or like sorry in a pro fight. But in an amateur fight, you can lose rounds that you knock down your opponent in just because the point system is so much more like precise. It's huge asterisk beside the word precise, but basically landed punches matter. It doesn't matter if you hurt your opponent or not. So, you know, having to keep in mind that my opponent was much taller than me because my last opponent scheduled for the fight before he fell off the ladder was 6 foot. So 5'9" to 6 foot, 3 inch difference. It's pretty noticeable. And then this new guy, he's 5'11", but he's 19 years old. So I don't know what to expect from that, right? But anyway, as I was getting to, one sec. So it's like fencing and you're just looking to make contact. Yeah, in amateur, absolutely. Yeah, that's basically how it works. I'm not. I'm looking to end it. The way I fight and like it is I would be putting myself at a disadvantage to not be trying to end the fight early. I have more power than most guys my size, and so to not like lean on that is just a good way to lose, right? So yeah, I don't know what the new guy's reach is, but he is an inch shorter. But we'll get to that in a sec. So I had to fight a guy from my gym who's the same weight class as me. He actually weighs like 5 pounds less than me. 5 pounds, 10 pounds less than me. He's like at the bottom. Middleweight is like 155 to 165, and I'm like right at 165. I was 163.9 today. I'm expecting to be 165 on the dot, or like 164.5, like in there, for the fight. And my opponent is, I think, what is he, 6'2" in this, and what I'm about to show you, the other guy from my gym. He's 6'2", and he is, how many years younger than me? 15 years younger than me. So, anyway, I'm just going to show you. One sec. So, 2 pictures back to back I'm going to show you. He threw like, I want to say 10 times as many punches as I did. They didn't all land. I think I landed more punches, but his volume was just insane. We fought at the end of an hour-long session of sparring, and then whoever won the whole thing had to got the chance to, like, you know, fight, right? But I'm just going to show you 2 frames, and it's a good indication of why I ended up winning. So there's this. And I'm going to show the next frame. Which is this. And this is like 30% power to the head, maybe. So.
Hi, Daddy. I'm dying.
So it felt pretty good watching it back, because coming out of it, I'm like, man, I got hit so many times. And I'm watching it back, and I didn't actually get hit more times. I got hit about the exact same amount of times as I hit him. But if we were, you know, fighting full power, if it was an actual fight, I might have killed him. So, you know, that's the difference, I suppose. The MC roll, it was more of like I had been catching him with like gazelle hooks, which is like you do like a big step to your left and then get with a hook, but like you do it from the outside, and it's basically like a quick sprint in, and then you like jump up and you get the hook. And I've been doing that over and over again, and it landed like 4 or 5 times. And then that time I was going to go for it again, but he kind of shifted right before. So that was more of just like a straight overhand, as I went to the inside, but it was, felt pretty good. Felt pretty good watching it back. Anyway, so it doesn't end there. My coach just got a message today about how they found another fighter, right? And so keep in mind, I'm 35 years old. The 19-year-old and me is not like a great match. I don't inherently have an advantage, but just, you know, I am a grown man and they are 19, so my bones are denser. I probably am stronger, like just there's no way to tell for sure, but it's very unlikely that a 19-year-old has more punching power than me, right? Unk strength, yeah, it's a real thing. Like, people will joke about it, but I used to play rugby against like men's teams when I was in high school, and it was fucking terrifying, dude. Getting chased down by someone who's 30 years old when you're 18 is just, it's different. It's different. You're not done growing yet. But it would be a better fight for the guy who's 20, obviously, 19 and 20. And this 19-year-old is 3-2, I think. And 3-2 is like, I don't know, like it doesn't mean anything. And also, I don't know who his opponents are. Was he fighting 15-year-olds? Was he fighting, like, you know, when he was 18, did he have some fights against like 16-year-olds, whatever? Like, it's probably advantageous for me, all things considered. But they said they found another fighter who's 28, who's willing to fight day of. So that would be great. I'm not really afraid of anyone. I'll do the fight. The one who's 28 years old is 2-0, and I think he's an inch taller than me. So it's basically the same kind of vibe as the very first fight I had lined up. A guy was 27 and he was 2-0. But he was 6 foot, I think, or 5'11", 5'11", I think. 6 foot, I don't know, something like that. But anyway, something in that range, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. Unless the kid has been taking it serious from a young age, that's a tough deal. Yeah. So would his advantage be stamina and speed and yours be strength? Experience plays a lot of a factor. I am guessing a 19-year-old is probably faster than me. But I also don't know how big he is, right? If he's 165, but like he's wiry, then maybe, taller guys are not always faster. It also, it depends how hard he's training too, right? There's so many other things. My guess is, just based on assumptions, he's probably a little bit faster, and I'm probably stronger. But, who knows? But the new guy who's 28 is fighting the weight class above, and he would have to come down 10 pounds to match me. And so they're like, well, what if we met halfway? And I'm like, I'm not putting on 5 pounds of fat in like 4 days. Like, that's stupid. So I'm in a weird situation. My coach has been like really nice about it. And he's like, don't act like you have to take this other fight to give your teammate a shot to fight. He's been very like, it's up to you, but I'm not going to force you to do it, because like, it doesn't make, like, don't sacrifice yourself for your teammate. Like, my coach is very upfront about it. But it's like, even if I did say yes to it, my concern would be that he couldn't make weight, because we're 5 days out from the fight. I don't know. I don't even know if I could put on 5 pounds. I probably could, but it would be dirty weight, and like, I'd be slow, and it's ultra disadvantageous for me to do that. And how is he going to lose the weight? That's my thing, right? Like, I could lose 5 pounds in 5 days. I could do it. From where I'm at right now, I'm the lightest I've been in 10 years almost. And I could lose another 5 pounds pretty quickly. But I would be in really, really rough shape to make it happen. Like, I would not have the energy. I probably wouldn't be able to eat before the fight. Which, again, probably advantageous for me if he loses 10 pounds to come down to my weight and I don't gain any, because I'm not gaining any. That's already like out of the question. So if he lost 10 pounds to come down, or even like 5 or 6 pounds to come down, it would be, probably advantageous. But why am I going to put myself in that situation, right? Anyway, there's one other guy from my gym that I was talking about way before who had his guy drop out. So I'm hoping he takes that fight, so then I don't have to feel like there's a guy who was wasted. How long are weigh-ins before the fight? Like, hours. Like, if the fight's at 6 p.m., weigh-ins are probably at like 3. So there's no like rehydration clause or anything like that in like there is in pro boxing, where they do it like a week before and then they have time to like get, back into shape. It's not like make weight and then be ready for the fight. It's, no, you got to be ready day of. Just strap 5 pounds of steak to my legs. But yeah, so honestly, I'm not afraid to fight the 28-year-old, because that's the kind of fight I'd been preparing for 2 months, right? Like, I already have that in my mind. But it's just, I don't know. I'm more concerned. Like, I don't know this guy. The guy's had 2 fights. He fights at a different weight class than me. I don't know if I can trust him to lose the weight. And my worst fucking fear is to say no to the fight that I have guaranteed and say yes to this other fight, and then have him not make it, and then I don't get to fight, right? Like, that would be absolute worst case scenario. So as much as it's like, I can't go easy on the 19-year-old because like I had to beat a teammate to get the gig, right? So I can't be like, oh, like he's 19. Like, no, I can't go easy on him because then it's disrespectful to my teammate who tried super hard and really wanted to fight. But yeah, I don't know. Go for both fights. Let's see how quickly I finish the first one. Maybe we'll have time for a second. Have I ever fought before? When I was a teenager, yeah. I'm 16 years removed from it. No, I don't know how to do math. 18. I'm 18 years removed from it. So it was basically like when I started training again, like 3 years ago. Or 2.5 years or whatever it was. I basically was starting from zero again. Like all my mechanics were all fucked up, and like my movement was bad. My footwork was terrible. I wasn't slipping properly. Like I basically started at zero again. I'm 5'8" and 126. I obviously have never been a fighter. I wonder if I was ever trained with a fighting style I would be taught. You would probably be taught whatever your coach is good at. Like, that was a thing for my coach. Because I looked so fresh. Like, he knew I had fought before, right? But people lie about this shit. And I think he had the idea that it's like, all right, maybe he doesn't know, or like maybe he's exaggerating, because people exaggerate all the time. He was teaching me his style, right? And then as I got better and as things started to come back, it became obvious that his style and my style are not congruent. I am a much more like head down, throw big punches type of fighter, and he's a very evasive. He's super slippery. He's hard to hit. I hate, like, people are like, oh, who do you fight like? And it's like, it's so embarrassing because I don't want to compare myself to someone who's like actually good. But like, yeah, I'm very aggressive. I'm very go forward. I'm not stupid about it, but fight like Paul from Tekken. Yeah, all right. If I can land Demo Man in a match, that'd be sick. Fight like Ryu from Streets. I like water without ice and dirt. Ippo, unironically kind of Ippo vibes. Yes. It's like, it's such like a lame thing to say. But it is very like, I've got power for my size, and I'm super in fighter, and hooks are gonna win me the match. So I guess Ippo, yeah, we'll say Ippo. Why not? Anyway, let's get into it. We got some Moss Rancher tonight. I know you guys aren't here just for the boxing. I am gonna be making a little video on it eventually, but yeah. And again, if you're waiting on like a Rancher rundown, there is one coming out soon-ish. Asterisk. It is on Bajarl. Bajarl's the next one coming out. I also have the script for Gaboo mostly written, but I'm like trying to work on a few things in it. Where's the fight? In my gym? No, it's in a venue downtown. 35 myself. I just cannot get back into the ring these days. We'll see. We'll see how I feel after I get punched in the head a couple times. But still missing Gaboo, Duckin, Undine, Niton, Bajarl. There's not a lot. That's most of them. Mock? Yeah, I did Mock like 2 years ago. He was a Halloween mon. But yeah, tonight we got DXBL middleweight rank C finals. We got 22 monsters in rank C. I wrote middleweight, but this is heavyweight. 1 second. Rank C heavyweight is the most populous of all of the formats. So that's why we ended up with 22 monsters in this. 12 advanced from the play-in, but we had 10 monsters whose scores were good enough to make it in unaided. Oh shit, he's got the Phoenix. Look at that. It's about the time I enter my mock as a debut fighter. Hell yeah. Look at that. You got the Phoenix. Congratulations. Can you remember what you said about thoughts about redoing pre-DX rundowns? Maybe. It's not a priority. I'm not opposed to it. But I think after I'm done the batch, I'm probably going to take a break from doing Monster Rancher 2 stuff for a little bit. Happy Pride Ranchers. Happy Pride Goat. Hope you're doing good. You guys should watch my the what is it, the Dire Straits when promising gays walk in. Full monster trigger losers. We love that. Right, anyway, let's get into it. We got some Monster Rancher happening. Good luck. The entrance gonna be lurking while playing Pokemon Champions. Yeah, Pokemon Champions I kind of fell off on because I feel like I got to a point where free to play is not the vibe anymore. Like I kind of got to a wall where I have shitty IV spreads and stuff, or EV spreads rather, sorry. And the amount of work that it was going to take to like make something usable was just I had fun. It was okay. I'm not too stressed about playing more. Tonight I think we might play some Pokemon Auto Chess after this. There's a new patch and a lot of things were broken, like hey Zephyr. Thanks Zephyr. A lot of things were broken yesterday, but they're working now. Got Tears and Rain and Beef Tank up first. No stupid crap face, but we do got Beef Tank. Predictions are live. We're going to do predictions for all of these, because why not? Pokemon Auto Chess, neat. I remember playing them a while ago. Bots only, but it's pretty hard. Yeah, it's a game where I'm not too stressed about like ranking up or anything like that. I don't care about laddering, but I've been enjoying it a lot. Champions isn't my favorite thing either, but it's been fun to mess around in. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fine. Not everything needs to be a game you play for 1,000 hours, right? I played maybe 10 hours of Champions, and I was like, yeah, I enjoyed that. I had fun with my time with it. It's okay. It doesn't need to be more than that. 75% for Tears and Rain. Here we go. Water Cannon. There's also like so many good games out right now that I want to play that I haven't. I want to play Mina. Mina looks sick. I've been following dev on Mina for like since they started 6 years ago, so I'm excited for that. What's the Mega Man X game that's free right now? The X spiritual successor that just got posted everywhere. It's free for a day or two. Gravity Circuit, yeah. Anyway, Tears and Rain wins game 1. Oh, the Water Cannon opener. They have a sequel announced. That's cool. I can't really get hype about it. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that it looks like Mega Man X. Specifically, it looks like Mega Man Extreme, which is like the Game Boy Color version. Five seconds left. Goes for the charge. We're going to game 3. Let's go. Beef Tank can't even see here. Yeah, I know. She's like in... He's got peripheral vision, but like it doesn't... He's got a dead zone in the center. He has to like turn 50 degrees to like be able to see her. I don't know why 50 instead of like 45 was my go-to. Everyone knows a quarter of a circle is 50 degrees. I look at Mina as well, but I have a few games to get off my plate. I want to play Mina because it kind of falls... I was talking about how I wanted to make a video on Windswept. And Windswept's whole thing is that it has like modular difficulty. And Mina does as well, and there's a whole thing with people being obnoxious about how it's like, oh, if you, what do you call it? Like, if you don't have one difficulty, if you have the ability to modulate the difficulty, then it is because you are a bad game designer, and you are expecting the players to balance your game for you. Which is stupid. It's a stupid thing to say from people who have convinced themselves that being like marginally good at a single player video game is somehow like an actual skill instead of, you know, being good at things that people care about. Looking at you, Dark Souls community. But that was the thing with Windswept as well that people were complaining about. Is modular difficulty the one that just to how good you are playing? No. So basically the way Mina works and the way Windswept worked as well is that there's a base difficulty, there's a game with no mods on, and then there's a cheat menu. I think if they had just called it a cheat menu, no one would have any problems with it. But there's a cheat menu that has like a million accessibility options, and you can do things from like a scale from like completely invincible, infinite jumps to touching enemies. Or like picking up coins kills you. Like there's like a scale of like you can make it insanely difficult to the point where it's probably not fun anymore, to insanely easy to the point where it's probably not fun anymore. And whatever you want to do is in the middle, right? And people are really, really mad about that because they are stupid losers. I've seen people who are like 98% on bus slapping, by the way. I've seen so many people who are like, oh, just because you disagree with them doesn't make them losers. It's like, no, they are losers that I disagree with. Like, caring about this is a stupid thing to care about, like, objectively. Like, you're a stupid person for caring about this. For calling it woke or whatever. Like, your brain is made of dog shit. Like, there's no middle ground. I'm not... Like, oh, we gotta find middle ground with the freaks. Like, no, these people suck. Like, you're gonna harass the devs and send them death threats because in your single player game you can turn on invincibility. Morons. I can't imagine being mad about... Like, imagine if Monster Rancher didn't have online play. And you could just make fatigue. You could turn fatigue off. It's like, would you enjoy playing like that? Probably not. But, you know, there's enough people who would. And, you know, if they enjoy the game, why not? Right? Who cares? Frankly, stupid thing to care about. Marzia and Sweet Summer Adult up next. Fastest way for someone to just not be taken seriously? Yeah, I know. Gamergate never ended for some of these people, man. I saw people complaining about, what's her name? Sarkeesian the other day, and it's like, what year am I in, man? What the fuck? Like, do people not have, like, jobs and friends? Like, why? It costs, like, $90 to fill my gas tank. Like, why the fuck are you worried about this? Like, holy shit. I think in some monster raising simulations that option makes sense, but in Monster Rancher there's not much purpose to it. No, but, I mean... In a single player experience, making the game cheating to make the game easier doesn't matter. Like if you're playing on an emulator with save states, are you going over to like people's houses and being like, no, you can't play like that. You can't play with the save states. That makes the game too easy. Or are you just like, yeah, all right, whatever. You're enjoying the game. You're having fun, and you go about your own day and don't give a shit, right? Those guys wanted to boycott Slay the Spire 2 because Sarkeesian did consult. People are like actually strange, man. It's like creative versus survival mode, yeah. It's literally the quit having fun meme, yeah. And I hate that meme. There's some cutie pie monsters. Oh, these are some cutie pie monsters? Yeah, they're adorable. Platformers are perfect for the sliding scale difficulty. People can be real bad at games. Also, like, Windswept was, like, a pretty easy game until post-game, and then it became, like, very, very difficult. As, you know, it should. It's like, you've beaten the game, here's some extra challenge. But people hated the extra challenge. There's an entire level that's like a platforming puzzle where it's like, we've given you all the tools to do whatever you can to, like, advance up this tower. You can do it. It's beatable, but it's just difficult. And so many people are like, how come the game doesn't explain to me how to do all of these puzzles? And it's like, well, because the point is that you're supposed to use some problem solving and solve the puzzles. How come my Sudoku doesn't give me the answers? But yeah, originally the Windswept video was going to be about one specific level and how I think it's like one of the most genius platforming levels I've ever seen. Despite the game, like, it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the best games I played last year. But it's mostly like just like a, oh my god, Rash. It's mostly like kind of a weaker Donkey Kong Country. Like, it's fine. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. But it's so referential to the point where, you know, they use the term ripoff, like the devs themselves use the term ripoff as like a loving term. And I don't disagree. I think if, you know, I wish more people made Monster Rancher ripoffs, right? But it does feel very, like my one main qualm, prediction is live, by the way. My one main qualm with Windswept is that it feels like a game built where you've only played Donkey Kong Country. It has like no outside influence. I'm sure it does, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like Donkey Kong Country 4. The redonkening. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think they did a great job with it. But people complaining about the only times where it like did its own thing, i.e. had like really hard puzzle design late game, it's just so funny to me, man. These are the people who like complain about like yellow painted ledges, but like they're the target demo for yellow painted ledges. 52% on wrath.exe. Pretty split. Especially if it's given them playing Tunic right now. Tunic's a tough game. Rising Grind going crazy, man. Love your work, Moose. Stay strong. Thank you. I saw that message when you first posted it. My apologies. I forgot to say something about it. If these tourneys use the more monster mod, I may be at a disadvantage since I haven't set up that mod or Steam Deck yet. I mean, some tournaments do, but most don't. Sorry, YouTube. I've been ignoring you. Let me figure it out myself, audience, and the I need help games are too hard audience is a Venn diagram that's actually a circle. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's definitely some ego in the I am good at video games, so if I can't figure it out, that must mean that it's designed incorrectly, right? That's the vibe a lot of these people have. Also, it's not that big of a disadvantage. Yeah. There's some new things with like a Metalner subbreed that are strong, but you know, when I allowed it, I also allowed Metalner, and Metalner is the strongest, and you can get him on the Switch, so you know. War Emblem and Hatera up next. Okay, prediction is live. It's very fun to me because video games are made to be beatable, so being able to be beat isn't the huge achievement they think it is. That's the thing that's like really funny about like people who are super proud of their Dark Souls wins, and like I don't care. Like if it's not an easy game. The Dark Souls games are not easy. I'm not being like I'm not being, what's the word I'm looking, contrarian. I'm not being contrarian just for the sake of it and being like, oh, it's actually an easy game and you're a stupid baby. No, they're difficult. But people are beating them on like DDR pads and shit. Right? So just beating it the regular way is like, it's fine. I'm happy for you. But you're an actual crazy person if you think I'm going to like be in awe. If you think this is like a thing you should put on your resume. Why is defense in Monster Rancher 2 so useless? Because it was way too strong in Monster Rancher 1 and they overcorrected. Most of the things in Monster Rancher 2 that are like, this is too weak, why is it like that, is because it was too good in Monster Rancher 1. Withering as like a general thing was way overtuned in Monster Rancher 1. Defense was way too powerful in Monster Rancher 1. Ghost, Pixie, Plant were all unbelievably busted in Monster Rancher 1, and in this game they kind of suck. Naga and Tiger were extremely shit in Monster Rancher 1, and are very, very strong in Monster Rancher 2. They just like were like, well, that didn't work. Let's do the opposite next time. Gotta love overcorrecting, yeah. But I mean, game balance. You guys should watch the Keats video on game balance. I'm sure it's preaching to the choir for the most part. If you're watching my stream and you like agree with me about game balance and how weaknesses in game in a character's design can be really, really interesting, you'll enjoy the video. But he made Keats, who is the guy who made Dive Kick and the lead designer on the new Killer Instinct game, made a video called like game balance isn't real or something like that, and it's really interesting. He's also lead dev on Rumbleverse, which, you know, rest in peace. But it's so funny because I kept seeing this one guy's comments in the comments of the video, and I'm like, I gotta put that in the video about Windswept and you know, just like bad gamer takes, because he's like, yeah, I'll be the judge of if this guy knows what he's talking about. He may be a so-called expert, but that doesn't mean he knows what he's talking about. I will reserve judgment till I've watched the video. I've met plenty of game devs who are experts who don't know anything about game balance, and it's like, dude wrote like 40 comments on this video, and I was just reading them and like losing my mind the whole time. Unless your favorite game is rock, paper, scissors, balance is not the be-all, end-all. Also, rock, paper, scissors is not balanced because, you know, rock comes out on frame 0. You don't need to change your hand at all. The experts have no idea what they're talking about. Me, a crazy person in the YouTube comments who's left 40 responses on this video, is the one you should be listening to. 54% on a Kane Kane Jr. But, you know, if you're not new here, you know, people leaving negative YouTube comments are like some of like the most unhinged people on the planet. Shut the fuck up. Prove me wrong, asshole. What the hell? Rock OP, that's what I'm saying. Dude, there's this like really bad AI slop ad that I keep getting on Prime. That's for this, I think it's just like an online casino called Tony Bet or something like that. And they show two people doing rock, paper, scissors, and it kills me because they go, huh, huh, huh. And then the guy who throws rock again. It's AI generated, so it's not like, you know, whatever. But anyway, Wojtowski. I think Wojtowski wins that. Oops, I accidentally closed the YouTube stream. I don't think I closed the YouTube stream. It's still live. I just accidentally closed the window. Or maybe I did. No, it doesn't look like it. One sec. Yeah, Swizza won that, right? Sorry, I accidentally closed some YouTube shit, so I'm like trying to make sure everything's working. I think everything's okay. Yeah, okay. Everything's good on YouTube side. Down YouTube way. But yeah, so the stupid like AI ad of people playing rock paper scissors. Hey, Jets team, thank you for the ranchin'. Appreciate it. They're going 1, 2, 3, but it's not 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the guy who threw scissors is like, "Yeah, I won," and it's killing me, man. Like I got the ad like 100 times while watching The Boys. Primus and Tears and Rain up next. Good old Primus. This is not the gross. This AI will do anything you tell it to. Ads anything. Ew, what the hell? Oh man, I haven't seen that, but ugh. Maybe we have slightly different algorithms. In Facebook, yeah, we have different algorithms for sure, because I'm not looking at anything on Facebook. Prediction is live. Imagine getting to see what your RPS opt through and still lose. So, hey, some of you guys, some of chat, I don't know. I've seen some like weird YouTube like AI ads that are like, this is. Have you guys seen the one with like the weird like jiggling eggs? I haven't like looked at it long enough to like really figure out what it's trying to say to me, but I think the vibe is that like this specific it has like 3 pictures of eggs that are like I think supposed to be boobs, and it's like on ours they jiggle more, but like I'm like trying to get off of that as quickly as possible. Like I'm not trying to spend any additional seconds looking at that shit. Primus, everybody likes Primus. Because one egg is busting? Oh, is that what it is? Oh. Man. The first one sucks. Keep getting weird ones, and the ones, the physically impossible clothing. That, yeah, I know, but people have been doing that forever. That could be an Evany ad. You guys remember Evany? That's like, play this game and you'll come, and it's like Clan Wars. It's like a top-down strategy game, or it's like an auto-clicker or some shit. I don't remember. I don't know what Evany is. I just know it's not like the scantily clad boob ladies. I put up a video of me reacting to YouTube ads. That's sick. But YouTube took it down? That's really funny. It's like, this is too hot for YouTube. You won't last 45 seconds playing this game? Yeah, exactly. You think they're meat and fuck Kingdom 2? They got nothing on the goat. Come on. The Horn Strike. It's not enough because he's got guard up and he did half damage. Water Gun gets hit? Damn. As a kid, we would, I say as a kid, in high school, Primus already won. That was two wins and then Primus won. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody's paying any attention. We're talking about the eggs, the AI eggs. 8-year-old me trying to play Monster Rancher 2. Yeah, my monster's dying. Dude, what's the youngest monster you've had die? I think I had a dragon. It might have been a Ragnaroks, who lived like a year and 8 months or something like that. And I was like, I fucked up somewhere. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Sweki Suezo? Alright, smartass. That's worse than the Rock is frame zero shit. Something Oakley Man punched? Sure. But I mean, like, a thing that, like, died of old age, died of young age, as it were. Remember my brother raising Garland that lasted under 2 years? Yeah, it's... I wasn't even, like, upset. I was like, I did something really wrong. It dies frame zero. Okay, predictions live. Who do you guys like? I had a tiger die pretty fast as a kid. Kept losing, so I stopped feeding it. Damn. Monster Rancher 1, I had a monster not live a single week in my Nuzlocke, and I don't mean because of Nuzlocke rules. He got smashed by Golem Chop. Yeah. Why did they give Golem an S-Force attack that he can use in rank D, or E even? What's the... Is it Sen? Is that the rank E Golem with Chop? You learn real quick that defense is important, because if you get hit with under like 100, you instantly take 600 damage. 54% on Lump of Coal. He's Gel Golem? Yeah, I think it's Sen. That slap. Let's see some flattenings. Do I see flattening? Flattening L. But they smell. Rolling Chop misses. Hits the second one, but he doesn't die. He's got so many gots. So many flattenings. Man. So I guess the caveat is that defense is useless in multiplayer. Yeah, it's fine in Monster Rancher 2, and it's extremely strong in Monster Rancher 1. The way defense works in Monster Rancher 1 is like, if you've ever looked at like the Pokemon damage formula or anything like that, and you're like, why is it so complicated? And it's because you don't want things to be knowable to your audience in like a discrete way. You don't want them to be able to look at it and go like, oh, that works like that. You want there to be a little bit of mystery to it. In Monster Rancher 1, defense is literally how much the damage incoming is divided by. So, you know, if you have 1 defense, you take tens of thousands of damage. If you have 2 defense, you take half of that because the damage is cut in half. If you have 100 defense, it's cut down to 1% of the damage that was incoming. If you have 999 defense, it's cut down to 1/1000th of the incoming damage, right? And so because of that, having under like 100 defense is like a good way to get your monster killed in Monster Rancher 1. Because the damage is not like 999. It's like 40,000. And then, you know, defense mitigates a lot of it. It's literally a divider. Was that just... No, that was 2-0. 2-1, sorry. Bat and Bug and Wii Spinnin'. Playing Monster Rancher 1 with damage caps modded off would be fun. That would be cool. I don't know how it works, though. Like, I'm sure it, like, only displays numbers up to, like, you know, what FFF is what... I don't know. What is it, 356 or something like that? In, what do you call it? 356 in Hex is 999. Remember something, the screen cap of someone saying I'm going to do a Nuzlocke on Discord and then dying to Nas? Yeah, I remember that too. That's, I think, maybe the funniest thing that's ever happened in Monster Rancher. Okay, prediction is live. You have to find a way to extend the damage cap display. I don't know. It's 256? Well, FF is 256, yeah. Here, I'm going to look it up real quick. Is it 3? It's something. I found a hexadecimal converter. There we go. Decimal to hex. 999. 3E7. 356 is close. 5 and E look similar. And 7, you know, 6, 7. All right, 97% on Bat and Bug. Here we go. Kamikaze, big miss. Nats has 50-something life, yes. We spin and takes game 1. Life jobber isn't a crazy insult. It's true. 57 life jobber. Man's a hoopy fruit. Hits the giant whip. We're going to game 3. Bad Bug. Not going down like that. The Spiral Rush, the big miss. But we spin does nothing with the advantage he gets. Miss the tail whip. And the claw. Bat and Bug in the lead again. More guts than his opponent. Swings another Spiral Rush. The crit. Oh, baby. He gets him. All right, all right, all right. Okay, Bat and Bug. Gonna take that one. Not too shabby. We spin and gets a win, but not a set win. Rambo, Commandu, and Sweet Summer Adult up next. If I'm farming shorts, I'm here for it. I haven't really been. And the reason I haven't been trying for like tonight at least is because I had alcohol for the first time in like 3 weeks because I'm like way under the weight cap and I have no tolerance anymore. So 2 drinks and I'm buzzing. I'm feeling it. Beer? These guys. Thé glacé. I had 2 of them and like they're there. They hit. Predictions live. Who do you guys like? So because of that, you know, I haven't been like paying much attention. I do have many shorts. As soon as the fight is over, I am back to like worrying about the channel. I have not been worrying about the channel that much. Sorry. But I have a bunch of tournaments to go through and I'm just going to make a shit ton of shorts. I have an editor. So basically I'm going to send him everything, all the clips, and he's going to put them all together for me. Crack an extra for me. Thank you. 2 of those in my face of the galley? Yeah, exactly. 100% on Rambo. Here we go. Got a question. How do I get a monster to stop failing 3-star drills? Yeah, save scumming, unfortunately, is the answer. What determines if your monster succeeds a drill is basically their age, and it's more complicated than this, but it's basically their age and how much fear they have. So if you have really high loyalty, and your monster is like in prime and you're still failing, that's because on a 3-star drill you have like 50% chance to fail no matter what. At absolute, like, if you have everything maxed out, you got like 50% chance. Yeah, there's no better strat. It's supposed to be like diminishing returns, right? Instead of the stats going up less as they get higher, now the chance to fail is higher. Which, you know, you can argue that's not the best way to implement that kind of cap, but that's what they went with. Hate that so much. I mean, it's either that or I think watching a number go up by less is more frustrating, to be honest. Restart drills failing so much actually affects the speedrun. It does. It changes how you approach the whole thing. Oh, hits the samurai kick at the last second. Rambo gonna take it. Should I worry about my monsters being too skinny fat? Nope. That's all it affects. Though, the heavier your monster is, the more fat they are, the more tired they get from tournaments. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You know how to use items, so it's not gonna affect anything. Viking, hello. Gaboo hype? Gaboo might win the whole thing. I don't think it's a favorite to, but it is technically a possibility. You can change your monster's model, but it's just visual? Yeah. Yeah, they get more fatigued from tournaments if they are fatter. And they get more stress reduction if they're skinnier. Right? Or is it stress reduction is the same, but it's just fatigue? Either way, fatigue is lower if the monster is skinny, but it's not that big of a deal. Lose weight fighting an attorney? That could be interesting. That would kind of fuck up competitive play though, so. Doesn't stress always go down to 0 after tourney? It doesn't go down to 0. It drops by a huge amount to the point where, like, you know, if you're playing the game properly, not to say that, like, you know, anyone's playing the game improperly, but, like, if you're playing the game and you know how items work and stuff, you're never going to have enough stress where entering a tournament doesn't, like, negate all of your stress. But if you, like, go on an errantry and you come back and then, well, errantry is only fatigue, right? Well, no, errantry is both. I was thinking an expedition. But yeah, if you go on an errantry and you come back and you enter a tournament right away, you might notice that it doesn't actually lower your monster's fatigue all the way. So I think if you, like, win the tournament, it's, like, minus, like, 70 or something like that, or 60 or something. I wonder if there's a way to work that into... No, there's not a way to work that into the speedrun. You take a lifespan hit from it. If you did rank D early... No, it's probably not faster because you want to go into rank D and just one-shot everything and then be done with it. You don't want to have to, like, pitter around and, like, oh, I 3-hit Capella or whatever. You want everything to end immediately. Predictions live, by the way. Golden brown. It's like a little roasted marshmallow. With the little green things that you find in fruitcake or whatever. 99% on golden brown. That trample missed 36%. Trying that rear leg kick, man. Stand the grind? Damn. Trample gonna smoke him, though. We're going to game 2. Golden Brown gets it. Monster Hunter 2, sorry, is in, like, it's such kind of a perfect package for a game that it's hard to look at any idea they had and think about how they could have done it better. And it's kind of funny because, like, we become so, like, especially as a community, like, so engrossed in it that I think it's hard to get some sort of separation. And so when, like, people complain about, like, I don't like X or I don't like Y about the game, it's the knee-jerk is like, no, it's actually pretty good game design. You don't know what you're talking about. And even though I think there is a lot of that, I think, like, the outsider perspective is important. Even if it's, like, you know, kind of stupid sometimes. Like, a lot of the complaints about the game are things that are, like, easily discountable because it's like, I wish the game wasn't hard. Or, like, it's stupid that they made fights give you stress. or like, sorry, they like that like fighting takes weeks of lifespan or whatever, and it's like, well, you know, it's a simulation, and it would be like that in real life. You only have so many fights, and the more times you fight, the more like worn down you get. But there's so many people who are like, I wish it didn't do that, because they see lifespan as like spending lifespan as a punishment, right? They don't see it as a resource that you spend to do everything you want to do in the game, and they don't like the management aspect of it. It's hard to fault them, but the problem is that a lot of these people want Monster Rancher to be a game that it's not. And that's fine. You're allowed to have that opinion. You're allowed to be like, I don't like it because of this. But yeah, like people who complain about like lifespans being short and stuff, it's like, you're allowed to not like that aspect of the game. And Pokemon exists for that reason, right? Like, you can just play Pokemon, that's fine. But I had to remove that paradigm from my brain. I kept thinking of fighting as losing lifespan rather than enjoying the game. I think I have a line like that in one of the videos, right? That it's like, it's a resource you spend to have fun. But also, like, you get so many bonuses from fighting that it would be like objectively bad game design to have there be no penalty attached to it, right? It's massive stress reduction. You get stats, you get money. You advance through the actual game, like you get closer to beating the game as you do more tournaments. The only downside is that it takes 2 extra weeks of your lifespan to do a fight. I don't know. I don't even think it's like prohibitive. I don't think it's enough, honestly. Aaron Tree, 6 weeks of the glitch life loss is frustrating. So I will say this. That's only in the base game. It's been fixed in DX, so you don't have to worry about that. Glitches like that, I think, are not a big deal. Because if you know about it, you know enough about the game for it to not be a big deal. Right? It's this weird, like, anti-catch-22. Where the only people who it bothers are people who know so much about the game that they can mitigate any downside that would be occurred by, you know, like subjugating themselves to it. The people who don't know better they don't really see a downside. And they're probably playing the game in a way where they're sending them on Aaron Tree over and over and over again. And there's other issues with that. It's not just the life lost, right? So I think, while, you know, I'm not going to disagree. Everyone's allowed to feel how they feel, right? I just think personally that for most people who are aware of the glitch, they're either parroting, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but I have seen this on like Steam forums and stuff. They're parroting a thing they heard, and they're like, the game is bad because of this thing I don't actually have any experience with, but have heard is bad. Or they know like the no rest method and shit like that. They know enough about the game where the 6 weeks lost won't actually ever affect them. And because, you know, they can just play around it without there being any real issue. And I think, you know, it's kind of an interesting spot for a glitch to be in, because it's not game breaking. It's frustrating, quote unquote, but I don't think most people actually experience it in a way where like it ruins their experience beyond just knowing that it exists. It's like knowing, I think, that like, say you had like a nail in the tire of your car, right? But it plugged the hole, so there's no air leak. Knowing about it pisses you off. But it being there doesn't really do anything. It's just like, you know, I wish that wasn't there. And the knowledge that it's there is like driving you insane. Plus you have 100 extra weeks on base game? Yeah. Yeah, the game's easier in other ways to make up for it. Badger, and War Emblem. So, the TLDR of that really long-winded thing that I just said is that I agree that I think knowing about it is frustrating, but I think knowing about it is worse than it existing. Like, you'll drive yourself crazy thinking about it, but it doesn't do much. Mostly bothers me with a monster with 350 lifespan where I want to learn a lot of moves. Yeah, but there are ways around that. People are... Dude, there's Japanese players who get every single move on special models. Where, you know, because they're a special model, they have 250 weeks of lifespan and no inherited moves. And they get every single model tech. So, like, if you want to be, like, really crazy about it, it's possible. But also, yeah, I get it. I understand where the frustration comes from. I don't think it's, like, dumb. I don't think, like, you're, like, a stupid person for feeling that way. I think it makes perfect sense. And that's, like, a really... That's honestly one of the things that gets brought up in the Keats video about game balance is that a thing cannot matter. It can be completely uneventful, not affect anybody, and it can still feel bad. And if it feels bad, prediction is live. And if it feels bad, whether it actually does something or just the knowledge of it makes it feel bad, you know, that has an impact. Probably special spawns in DX. No, someone did it with, what's his name? The Galaxy. Hey, Jeff Gamer. Sorry, I've been, like, kind of... YouTube is, like... I have an empty can on my desk that's, like, kind of hiding YouTube chat. So I apologize. There we go, fixed. In base JP? Yeah. What you have to do to make that happen is a nightmare. And it's, like, re-rolling every week, basically. But, I think it was max stats every tech, yeah, on Galaxy. 61-39 for Badger. It's impressive. It's like get a great every single week. Minimum number of tournaments needed. Like there's so many things that have to go right for that. But yeah, it's such a really fascinating thing of like this thing that it feels bad, even though it doesn't really affect you in a meaningful way. But because it feels bad, right? The vibes are off. And if the vibes are off, then it's not fun. Is there a limit to simply abusing golden peaches forever? Yeah, you can only use one. That's the limit. Blissful ignorance of not knowing about this game and just raising monsters how I feel like? Hell yeah. We got a tie. 1P wins. Game 3, here we go. In hindsight, would be a bit silly if you could just spam them. Let me introduce you to Monster Rancher 1. Yeah, Monster Rancher 1 is weird because you can use an unlimited number of peaches on one monster, but each monster can only find one peach. Badger gonna take it. Manly Oak and Whitezowski up next. Also, I think... complaining is the wrong word, but I think if you have, like, qualms with a game, it's fine to bring them up. Sometimes people will, like, be dismissive of it. And sometimes there's a reason they're dismissive of it. But, I mean, especially in this chat, we'll at least, like, talk it over, right? Like, I don't agree that the glitch is, like, unfun. Because... it's just not a thing that I worry about. I just bake it into the builds. I'm like, all right, that's the tax. That's the getting a tech tax. But I do think if you're just playing casually, you're trying to get all the techs or whatever, it would become kind of burdensome. And especially if, like, you know, you're playing a little bit more casually and you're not optimizing everything, it ends up being unfun for that reason too. And that's totally fine. That's a very good point to bring up. Prediction is live. And again, like I was saying off the hop, it's easy to like become insular within the game and stop seeing faults in it. Have a problem with the game? Beacon should be at least low A tier. Yeah, he's not, unfortunately. Can you also 999 all stats in Monster Rancher 1 with just items? Yes. Yeah, items in Monster Rancher 1, you have an unlimited number of items you can use every week. So, you know, you can just feed them the items that give your monster extra stats at the cost of lifespan. Like 100 items in 1 week. It's like really popular to do so in competitive play. It's a good way to like keep your monsters baby sized. 55% on White Zowski. Here we go. I have like a 12-year-old hanger that's max stats in Monster Rancher 1. Yeah, in Monster Rancher 2, you can make a monster live forever with golden peaches as well. They had a 1 in 3 chance of when you give them to your monster, they increase your monster's lifespan by 1 week. So you could just feed them golden peach or magic banana, sorry. Magic banana every week, and it would be it would live forever. JP raised a competitive mock that took like 21 years to build. Because it was for the Monster Rancher Battle League, which was the precursor to the DXBL. And Monster Rancher Battle League was an ongoing thing where basically your monster started off in C rank, and it would, if it won or got top 2 in a given week, it would advance to B rank. And then if it won in B rank, it would advance to A rank, and then A rank to S rank, yada, yada, yada. And in each new rank, you were allowed extra stats, extra attacks. You couldn't get any special attacks until B rank. You could start doing like tech removal in A rank. And so a lot of times someone would make a monster. So say for Mock or whatever, you would do like mixed attacker. So you could actually use its power tech to get out of rank C. And then you would completely change its build for rank B. But it was really, really intense in terms of game knowledge and like lifespan requirement.
Hope you're well, XO.
Hey, Ian, how are you doing, man? I got a fight coming up in a couple of days, so we'll see how I'm doing after Saturday. But I think I'm gonna do okay. I guess I haven't really been talking too much in the TPS chat, but yeah, I have a boxing match against a 19-year-old on Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Primus and Lump of Coal up next. Just in New York City for a week? Kind of over my city now? Are you still out in Seattle? $10 years? Damn, dude. I guess that's about how long I've been in Toronto. When did I move here? I moved to Toronto 2013? Okay, so 16 years. I can do math. It's 13 years. I had 2 drinks and my brain is just fucking fried now. You missed earlier. So I had to cut predictions live. I had to cut a lot of weight for the fight. Over the last year and a half, I've lost 35 pounds. I've gone from 200 to 165. And I haven't had alcohol in like the last 3 weeks to cut like 10 pounds, 15 pounds in the last 3 weeks or so. And so I've had 2 drinks today because I'm like way under the actual limit I need to be. I'm like 163 today. And I'm like, I get to have alcohol, hell yeah. And I fried my brain on two Arizona hard iced teas. I'm a complete lightweight now. 81% on Primus. I was already kind of a lightweight because I don't drink too much, but cutting weight in your 30 sounds miserable. Yeah, but I was like kind of fat, so it wasn't that big of a deal. If I was to like cut for the sake of like being a boxing weight, I would probably have to cut another 15 pounds or like at least like another 10. If I was like really muscular and I could get down to like maybe like 7% body fat or whatever, I would probably be like another Let's see. I'd probably lose like 15 pounds of fat and like gain 10 pounds of muscle. Maybe I'd only be like 5 pounds lighter. Yeah, I have no idea what I am now. 5'9", 165. But I also have like a very wide frame, so the bones make like BMI measurements and shit completely incongruous to what it actually is. When I was in high school playing rugby, I had is it 6% body fat, like almost starvation range, like super lean, and my BMI said I was like 17% or whatever, and it was like giving me really bad body dysmorphia as a teenager because I'm like, how come all my friends are like 10% and they all look bigger than me? What the hell? But you know, that kind of science has come a little ways in the last 20 years. That was 2-0, right? Yeah. Alright, Primus doing good. Monster Rancher 2 straps will help in real life. I gotta start drinking oil. I mean, that would maybe initially lose weight from what drinking oil would do to your body, but it's kind of how I've gotten as big as I have. I was constantly told I was morbidly obese when I was a kid and teen, so when I wasn't at all, so I just gave up. I wouldn't say those are the same situation. I would say it's almost exactly the opposite, but I feel ya. Motor oil tastes like Diet Coke? Does it really? I gotta try. I will say, I never ever drank like diet sodas, and then this year, I literally haven't drank like soda that had any sugar in it this year. And that's such a big factor in why I've lost weight. Prediction is live. Also, like the extreme training probably has something to do with it too. Sprite 0 calories, 0 caffeine. What's with people in the 0 caffeine shit? I need the caffeine. The caffeine is a selling point. It's why mug root beer doesn't enter my body. We made a root beer with no caffeine in it. Oh, okay. So I'm just drinking medicine for the sake of it. For the taste? No, thank you. 61% on Rambo Commandu. Here we go. My monster lost. I'm gonna go have lovely Sprite 0. Have a good night. Sprite 0 is pretty good though. The new I don't know what they're using that's like not aspartame, but it they managed to make like diet soda taste exactly like the normal sodas. I love root beer too, but it does taste like medicine. It's just, you know, it's fine for it to taste like medicine. Sorry, I was too busy talking about root beer. I wasn't paying attention to what was happening. Is that just one game? Root beer is for when bro asks you to refill his cola soda and it's too lazy to do it themselves. I love root beer. Okay, it's looking like that's the only game. All right. I thought there was a game that was game 2, but I guess not. Yeah, there's no aspartame in Coke Zero. There's aspartame in Diet Coke. That's why Diet Coke and Coke Zero taste different. Root Beer is my favorite soda? That's sick. I like root beer. Oh my god, man. What a comeback. Holy shit. Rambo going crazy. Alright, game 3. They both got what it takes. So why can't this be love? Giant Whip misses a big 35%er. Chop combo. Big miss there, too. The Spiral Rush can't land anything. Nobody's landed a damn thing. Half the match is gone. Hits the face attack. Big crit. This is the second one. The Shockwave. Ooh, make him do a little breakdancing. Breakdance a little for him. Spiral Rush to finish it. Holy, Bat and Bug gonna take it. 2-1. Coke Zero is god tier. Coke Zero is like, it shouldn't be as good as it is. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Golden Brown and Kavinsky. You know what's really good? The oh, what do you call it? They don't have it in Canada, but the Sunkissed, the like Sunkissed sugar-free is crazy. I don't know what they did to make it taste exactly like regular orange pop, but I don't know. Like Pepsi Max more than Coke Zero? Pepsi Max, that's the caffeine-free one, right? In the fucked up gold can. I don't mind Diet Coke, but I don't like Coke Zero or regular Coke. Interesting. Takes all kinds of people in this world, I suppose. All right, predictions live. Who do you guys like? Pepsi Max. I don't know why, but it just has the vibe to me of like, this is gonna be so. This is so judgmental and so insulting, and I just need you to know it's not about you. It's just Pepsi Zero. There's a Pepsi Zero. Pepsi Zero and Pepsi Max are different. Pepsi Zero is good. Unless it's the... Is it just called... Also known as Pepsi Max. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay. What's the caffeine-free Pepsi and Coke that are like in the gold cans? Is like, to me, that has the same vibe as like an ashtray full of cigarettes. If I see an empty can of like the gold Coke or Pepsi, I don't know why, but it has the same vibe of like somebody just like chain smoked a whole pack. And I don't know how to like, why that's like congruent in my brain, but it is. It's like low rent. I don't know why. Pepsi Zero makes me think it's beer every time. Why? But it just brought me back to childhood. Am I like, I'm not crazy, right? By making that association? Okay. I can't even think of an instance where I've seen it. Like, I can't think of an instance where I've seen that picture, but in my brain, it's like you go to a friend's house and, you know, maybe they're a little bit less well-to-do than you are. And, you know, that's obviously not your friend's fault. It is what it is. I grew up pretty poor. So, you know, it's not stolen valor for me to say. But you go to a friend's house, you know, or maybe their parents are like, they're a latchkey kid or whatever. And then they have on a side table beside the couch in the living room where they like watch TV, there's like an empty can of like, or like 6 empty cans of the caffeine-free Coke and like an ashtray full of cigarette butts. It's like a very visceral like image in my brain. Late 80s, early 90s beer vibe? Yeah, there's that too, I think. I'm just saying shit. I don't know if that... This is one of those things where, like, it's in my brain, and I've just assumed that's the norm. On a TV tray? Yeah, man. You know what's up. And the TV tray has, like, a painting, like a Rembrandt on it or something, to make it, like, look classy. Like, we bought the fancy ones. I don't even have, like, a friend in mind. I can't think of a family member or, like, any specific instance of that. It just seems like part of, like, the cultural ether of the 90s that, like, there's, like, a blue carpet. It's like a light blue, like, almost a steely blue-gray. And there's, like, stains on it because, of course, there is. Cigarette burns here and there. Prediction is live. There's a ficus in the corner. I don't know. Someone should make the back rooms, but about that specific house. Everyone will be like, oh, I know that. The back house? That's the Maison Derriere. 87% on Badger. The big damage. It's the magic punch and the right jam. Manly Oak, big damage. Backhouse, have you so you guys have seen the myhouse.wad, right? You guys know about that, the Doom level based on House of Leaves? Exact same stat spread. Yeah, it's a pretty common. This is called like the 702 build, where it's max power, max skill, 800 points in speed. So with the speed bonus, like the form bonus, you get 999 speed, 25% plus 800, and 702 is what's left over in the cap to put into life. Your wife's back. You can't let her watch you doing this, eh? I feel you. I think that's 2-0 for Gaboo, right? Yeah. Well, 3-0. All right. He went crazy. He's going nutso mode. All right, the Gaboo wins. We got some good Gaboo action today, eh? All right. Primus, Battenbug, Golden Brown, Manly Oak in top 8. We got losers to run through. Here we go. White Zowski and Beef Tank up first. We haven't seen any losers matches until now. Every match from this point on, until we get to top 8, is an elimination match. So these all matter. Is someone going to make the run, or is it the end of the road? Okay, prediction is live. Who do you guys like? Okay, what do we got? 88% on Beef Tank. Here we go. Sorry, just checking some stuff on my phone. Work emails about tomorrow. I knew I had something to do tomorrow. I knew I had to work, but I didn't have any information until like seconds ago. White Zowski hits the yodel. The one-shot yodel? Game number 2. So yeah, the 702 build, pretty common. It's like the most standard build, but you'll see people running less skill if they have a monster with really accurate techs. and then they'll put it into life or something else. 702 is like not a lot of life. There's a couple of monsters that have the ability to just like end things instantly at 702 life. Damn, Beef Tank with the power tail slaps, eh? The most notable is the Sacred Combo from Arrowhead, who can use Hidden Sting and then get into range after he uses Hidden Sting because it moves him forward to use Claw Assault. And then if he uses Claw Assault, he moves backwards into range to use Hidden Sting. And both those moves together at round start do about 700 damage. I think one has to crit. I don't think one has to crit. I think both of them are fine as is. But like it's something like that. And, you know, so 702 life, monsters need to worry about that. And so sometimes, you know, if that's a type of build you want to be able to beat, you would run more life. Because if the Arrowhead uses both those moves and it doesn't kill you, then they're in a little bit of trouble. Because Arrowhead has really bad guts regen, and they got no guts left. The downside is you're either doing less damage, or, you know, you're less accurate, or whatever. Cool lobster, though? Yeah, exactly. Like, Love Train's a really interesting build. A ton of life. Way less power. But Color Pandora has a couple of moves that do, like, a grip of damage. So it makes up for it. Prediction is live. And this build, like, it's not even, like, having less power. Like, 850 from 999 is a huge drop. That's a really, really big drop. But, the thing is, most of the monsters it's fighting are going to be speed monsters, right? And then the monsters that it's not fighting, it can still beat. Sorry, the monsters that aren't speed that it's fighting are still have to worry about like Meteor Drive and stuff. 850 with Meteor Drive, it's not going to kill, but you know you got to worry. It's going to do a lot of damage. Triple shots opener, big miss. Kick misses as well. I typically run low power, life, and speed defense to put more into life. Typically run low power, life, and speed defense to put more into life. Okay. Buzz slapping takes game 1. Heavy slap, damn. 400 damage off the hop. He's got to watch out now. Missing the Meteor Drive's big. The punch miss. The punch miss. I'm tired. Don't you work nights? Triple shot's big miss. Punch. Buzz slapping. Moving on. Good night, sweet prince. The tram goes to sleep. Buzz slapping moves on. Rise and grind and Marzia. $900 life worth of slaps? A lot of slaps. YouTube recommended this to me at random. Too busy to watch, but subscribe to come back to the VOD later. Love that there's a monster entry. Hey, welcome. Yeah, I get that. I don't think I've ever watched a live stream on YouTube. That's... Oh, whoops. I watched Jimothy Cool once. He was playing a trucking simulator. That's literally the only time. But yes, welcome. Wait until you see the 800 other videos on Monster Rancher I have. Yeah, Monster Rancher community is real nice. Should technically be asleep now. My body just said no. Oh, so like you're trying to sleep now for work later. Like I thought you were at work like now. All right, predictions live. Who do you guys like? Working 2 hours? Ah. I get to sleep. I actually don't even know what time I work tomorrow. I have some details on it, but when do I work? 4? Start time is 5. Okay, so I got to be at work at 4, which is not too shabby at all. 76% on Rise and Grind. Or on Marzia, sorry. Twister Slash? Damn, huge damage. Puts him in the yellow. And the cut in 2 to finish him off. People like the Durahan. Big damage there. Rise and Grind can just finish it, though. Just needs to land something. Smash, big miss. Twister Slash, gonna miss as well. Rise and Grind back in. It hits triple stabs. Good move for that. Down to half health. Rush Slash can do a little bit of damage. Into a million stabs of its own. Not gonna do enough. Rear leg kick won't kill. They're both in the yellow. Next hit wins, basically. Slash combo. Into cut in 2. The cut in 2 is gonna hit. He grits, but there's not enough time left, I don't think. Oh, he had like a split second. He could have swung something. That's it. Rise and Grind. Out in the finals. But, you know, we love to see a horse do well. Sweet Summer Adult and Wrath. All these monsters had to do really well to get here. So, like, these are the finals of a league that took 16 months. I won't have time to go to the gym tomorrow, but I will. We'll have time to work on some stuff. Yeah, I've been getting back into game dev. I've been slowly learning some skills that I need to eventually put my dream game together. But, you know, I'm working on little projects in the meantime. And then, like, stealing skills from that as I learn. Like, learning how to do, like, menus and, like a lot of the more, like, technical aspects. Like, I understand basic, like, movement and things like that, but, like, learning how, like, with a 3D camera to, like, select things and, you know, highlight stuff, all the things that, like, are not sexy but are needed to, like, make a game not feel like shit. 56% on Sweet Summer Adult. Learning about cameras and how they work in a 3D space, all that stuff. It's been a lot of fun. I have a feeling, you know, a game dev project is just like any other video editing project or making a movie or whatever, where it's extremely fun until you're in the minutia, and then it's like actually the worst thing in the world. And the only thing that keeps you going is that you would rather be doing it than like anything else, right? As much as it sucks, it's still nicer to be working on the thing than not be working on the thing. This video production feels like that a lot of time. Like, I'll be like in the weeds of a video and I'm like, I just need this to be done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then it finishes and it's like, I'm so happy I went out of my way to like make sure the video got done. Okay. Is that 2-0? First one was finished really quickly. Yeah, 2-0. All right, Sweet Summer Adult, moving on. Pepper Steak and Hatterra. There's so many people in the Monster Rancher community that are like in game dev or are making their own games, Monster Rancher related or not, and I don't know what I don't know enough to like ask for help yet. I'm still in like a very, I feel like asking for advice at this point is very like premature. Like any advice I would get is like simply not going to be good because my questions won't be like pointed enough for it to matter. But predictions live on these two. But I've wanted to reach out to a couple of people, but it's just like it doesn't make sense yet. I need to learn more on my own, figure this shit out. But there's a couple of people who watch the channel who have made some like very cool games, and I'm honored to have them as viewers, and it's just cool to like know that the community like is so creative and everybody's like working on something all the time. 100% on Hatter. Everybody liked the dog. Here we go. The stab, big damage. He grits it, though. He's still in it. Pepper Steak not out, and he can't miss. So Hattera needs to be careful here. 2 spike stabs. Hattera needs to finish it quickly. Pepper Steak does not have much of a chance to miss. Okay. Hits another stab. God damn. Game number 2. Here we go. Flattening L. Not nearly as good of a move as those ones up close. What engine am I using? Yeah, Godot. Flattening L. Flattening L. The stab lands though? Hattera wins it. So nobody wins any money, but nobody loses any money on that one. Hattera with the 2-0. Tears and Rain and Okane Kane Jr. up next. Godot's been a lot of fun though. It's so simple. As someone who's only ever used like Game Maker in the past, the idea of having like a pseudocode like own language for the engine was like pretty easy to get into. It seems it's like so robust though. There's so much you can do with it. Prediction is live. I have a couple of tutorials I've been working through, and then as I like learn something like, oh, that's how you do like an interface like for this feature, and then I'm like, okay, I write that down, and then I have it in my design doc. So hopefully when I like try to implement it all into a game, it's like I've got the notes already, you know? I try out Godot because I've been on Unity just because I know it already. I mean, nothing wrong with any... I mean, Unity's got the problem with... Oh, there's not sufficient disk space to continue recording. Really? I ran out of disk space, eh? Here, one sec. Strange, really. Oh, I know why. It's because I've been... Here, one sec. Offload 70 gigs real quick. About 7 minutes. That's fine. I'll get back to it after. Game UI database? No, I have not. But yeah, it's like there's reasons to use one engine over another, right? Depending on your project. I don't know enough about like what those reasons would be. But like certain things are easier in each, and there would be reasons to do it. It makes perfect sense to me. Like I've seen other people say that, and it makes perfect sense to me that that's the case because, you know, I know enough about like DAWs, like digital audio workstations, and I understand that it's like you can basically do anything you want in any of them, but there's a reason why you would use like Logic over Pro Tools or vice versa, or like why you're using Ableton or like Adobe Audition, or there's not a lot of reasons to use like Audition over the others, but like, you know, the idea is there. Reaper, whatever. Yeah, Godot's been pretty easy. But yeah, I don't know what game UI database is. Ooh, Claw Assault. Hidden Sting. Water Gun, big damage. Ice Sword, Ice Sword. The Cold Fog Miss. Incredible database, just tons of categorized screenshots for thousands of games. Super useful for UI references. Oh, that's sick. That's another thing that I've been like trying to get used to is the idea of just like copying other shit that already exists, right? Like you can make it your own, but like you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to like imagine. Like it's a thing that like I intrinsically know from like video creation, and a thing I know from like making music is like you can like see something and be like, that's cool. I want to interpret that in my own way. But, you know, game dev is a new, with like air quotes around it, endeavor for me, right? So it's like relearning some of the basics of creative design. War Emblem and White Zowski. So like the game I'm making, I've talked about it a little bit. And it's like gonna be like very Monster Rancher coded. It's closer to like Monkey Puncher than it is to Monster Rancher, but it's got Monster Rancher's like a similar or inspired by combination system. It's not the same as Monster Rancher. It's not like you can combine Metal Nur and Durahan like you can here. But there is like a there's something that gives a similar vibe. Prediction is live, but I'm trying really hard to just like not like, the more I think about making the Windswept video, the more I'm like, I don't want it to be Donkey Kong Country 4, you know? I really, really like Windswept. But that's not what I want for my game. I want it to be like a love letter to these games, but I'm not interested in just making the game again, right? I'm not interested in making a Mammon King for more than one reason. Like, on top of, you know, it's just Monster Rancher, it's just like the worst parts. They've gotten rid of the best parts of Monster Rancher. The battle system is unbelievably bad. The actual monsters themselves suck because they're just Unity assets. They're not even like, nobody even made them. Like, you release the whole ass game with just like a Unity library for all your creatures. You forgot about Reaper? You forgot about Dre? Reaper's okay. You can do a lot with Reaper. It's very modular. I'm using it. I'm not using it right now, but I use it for a lot of my voiceover stuff. I use a combination of Reaper and Logic. I record in Reaper and then I export to Logic and I edit in Logic. It's very funny to me playing the game because I use most of those assets as placeholders. I was going to make a video about it, and I think the time has passed, and it's not, you know, I don't know. Also, I have, like, nothing nice to say about it, really. Other than, like, hey, it's cool that someone made a thing. It's like, I don't want to be, like, too negative. I'm not interested in, like, that kind of thing. The only reason I did it for DQM is because I was fascinated by how bad it was. I don't know. Mammon King is just like, I've become what I hate most. I've been the guy who says game devs are lazy. Game dev is like a miracle to me. The fact you can put a game together and that it works and that someone can play it is like gods from on high have come down and made it work. And, you know, you deserve all the praise in the world. You deserve to be showered with, like, platitudes till the day you die. I've never played a game that made me feel like, alright, the devs clearly don't give a shit about this as much as Mammon King. With the caveat that I have definitely played games where it's obvious that nobody gave a shit. But I have not played games where the entire marketing push behind it was, this is my dream game. I've wanted to make this game since I was a kid, and I have fulfilled my vision. And it's like, really? Because 99% of the monsters in the game were not monsters that you made. So like your dream monster raising Like your Dream Monster Collector game has a bunch of monsters you don't collect. Like you never put any effort into. Like, I don't know. Hold on. Did I just... I want to see real quick. So I freed up some space. I can now record again. Why, when I like search for my recycle bin, is it like the third thing that comes up? Let me empty my recycle bin. 400 gigabytes of stuff in my recycle bin. All right, start recording again. Anyway, do I recommend DQM Dark Prince? Yeah, I think it's a really good game. The PvP sucks, but it's I'm always emptying my recycle bin. It's one of my favorite things to do. But no, I just got rid of a bunch of videos. Like, I transferred them from one hard drive to another, but I accidentally copied them instead of cut and paste. So I don't need duplicates of 100 gigs worth of videos. So, do you recommend DQM Dark Prince? I forgot to say the second half of it. It's currently 75% sale, and DQ11 is my first DQ game, which I just bought. Yeah, for 75% off, it's really good. The story and stuff, and like the platforming and all of the like puzzles and shit are like kind of obnoxious, but the actual like battle system is really sick. It's a lot of fun. It's really fun making like a really cracked team. Dream game, but he hated most of the things of the game that inspired it. I don't even know if he hated it. It's just that, you know, like the Monster Rancher battle system is way more complicated than a Pokemon battle system is, like a turn-based. And then things like, oh, I made the UI look like cards, so people could say it's a deck builder, even though there's no deck building elements to it. You just pick a loadout, and then you have access to all your attacks. Fellas, is it a deck builder if you get your entire deck in one hand every hand? They're on a crazy sale right now. Yeah, because the new one's coming out soon. There's a new DQM, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm definitely gonna be playing on stream. Probably make a video about. See how I feel about it, but yeah. It's called Exodia Deep Draw, but it's more so you didn't build your deck to be that way. By design, your deck, you always have your whole deck in your hand. You're talking about Pokemon? Sounds like Pokemon. No, we're talking about a Mammon King. But it is Pokemon. It's like you choose your attacks. Roguelite deck builder, the one where you actually build a deck, like a wooden deck. Yeah, I've seen that. Speaking of DQM video, that's how I actually found you. Hell yeah. Yeah, that video did pretty well, and it did pretty well again. Like, it popped off this year, which is kind of sick. But yeah, no, it's the UI looks like in Mammon King looks like cards, so it like tricked a lot of people into thinking it was like a deck builder or whatever, right? But it's just like a stock asset where it's like the menu UI is made to look like cards, and then say you have 5 attacks you can choose. So like before the tournament, you like choose your loadout. Like, I want to bring these 5. And then it's turn-based like Pokemon, so you have access to all 5 every turn, and like you just have to have enough MP to be able to spend the attack. So there's no deck building element at all to it. Maybe they do it in Mammon King too. That's the one thing that it's like, it did really well, Like, they made their money back almost instantly. And they're like, we're going to put it towards Mammon King 2. We're going to make a better version of this game. And it's like, okay, I hope, because this shit sucked, man. It was not good. I don't know. That's why I didn't make a video about it, because it's just, I didn't want to just rag on a video or rag on a game for no reason. I'm not a journalist, right? Like, people aren't like, I watch Moose Bones for the hard-hitting commentary on this new game that came out. That's not why I do it. I don't really care. If people want my opinion, they can ask and I'll give it to them, but I don't know. I've always been like, the video has to be entertaining, and I am very past a point in my life of like watching things that are like ultra negative. Even if it's like, it has to like have some sort of reason for being that way, right? Like, the DQM video is pretty negative, but it's negative, and like I'm constantly talking about how cool the game is and like how many things are like sick, and explaining the mechanics and things like that. So I think you could make an argument that it's too negative of a video. But Mammon King, I would just be like, this is Monster Rancher but sucks. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's that entertaining. I'm sure I could make it entertaining, but I have to be like enthusiastic about it. Say my DQM video was critical more than negative? Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's negative for the sake of negativity. It's definitely not like chasing that trend, you know? There's no problem with the video being negative if the game experience isn't balanced. Yeah, I mean, it's just more so that I'm not passionate enough about it to make a video. That's basically what it comes down to. I think when something sucks and you just like kind of hated it and it's whatever, that really comes through in the video. But if you have like a lot to say about it, then that can offset the this thing sucks and I hated it vibe, you know? DQM video is a product of a month of constant, this game is made by monkeys, 4 monkeys into one more game loop for 3 hours. Yeah, like every day. I have so many hours in it. Speaking of weird games with monsters and cards, have you heard of or played Lost Kingdoms? No, I haven't. Oh, he's got ease? The scratch. The scratch! The scratch! Doggy going crazy. Doggy mode. Hadra. Going crazy mode. Going crazy bread. Look at that. Could have swung anything and gotten grit? I don't know, man. Rambo, Commando, and White Zowski. We've got our top 8 plans now. Man. I don't know. It's interesting because I get asked to play games all the time, right? Like, this is not a stream where, you know, I'm constantly shilling games. They're like, hey, we got this game from so-and-so, yada, 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 right? And I got no real problem with people asking me to play their games. It's just, I get asked a lot. And it's funny, like, even as, like, a small streamer. It's just, like, a lot of the time, I'm going to be honest, I see like a Pokemon type clone and I'm like, I'm probably going to be like really negative about this. And so I don't watch it. And I know I don't have like a Northern Lion type following where like if I watch something and just like pan it, that it's going to like actively affect their player base and like how much money they make. But, you know, even if a game's like shitty, I'm not trying to like ruin anyone's livelihood, right? It's one of those early 2000s experimental GameCube games. Pretty neat adventure game where you walk around big maps and have a deck of spells and monsters you can throw out to fight in real time. That's neat. Huh. Yeah, I've never heard anything about it. Some monsters clear obstacles, etc. I might look into it. Last time somebody recommended something like that, it was Monkey Puncher, and it's become one of my favorite games of all time, so, you know. Lightning can strike twice. Chop combo, big damage. That telekinesis. I'm from Blockbuster like 20 years ago. It's niche, and I usually have Google Foo. Have to Google Foo to remember the name. That's like me in that fucking robot game that everyone, when I explain it, they're like, "Oh, Robopon," and it's not Robopon. I've forgotten the name of it like 100 times. 1 second. Not Custom Robo. Game Boy Advance game. I always forget what it is, and then I see the name and I'm like, oh, of course it's that. And then I instantly forget again. It was Japan only. Not Metabots. I do love me some Metabots. I was in the ad zone. What were the criteria? It's a Japan only game. It is a creature collector game, very Pokemon inspired. You capture robots, and they are either red, blue, and green. And it's like red has an advantage over green, green has an advantage over blue, blue has an advantage over red. And then I think there's like a purple type as well, which is like whatever. But yeah, I cannot remember. It's not Robopon though. I know what you're talking about, but no, it's not. And the only reason I can be that dismissive that quickly is that I've literally gone through this a million times. Oh, this is it. What's it called? Hold on. I found the picture. Here, this. This here. What's this called? Granbow. Granbow. That's it. I fucking forget over and over again. Granbow is sick though. Oops. Yeah. This game was cool as hell. Look at this. They are all red, green, blue. Yeah. It's literally types. I remember this was like a kind of a mini boss. This like elephant you ran into, you like blocked your path, and it was way higher HP than like anything else you had at the time. And it was like basically like a Snorlax ripoff. And it was like, oh, if I can get that, my team will be way stronger. I didn't get super far in the game because, you know, it's a game where you need to be able to read Japanese to know what to do next. But I do remember there was one part where I got stuck because it told me to do something. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. How could I possibly know what's going on? It's in Japanese. Is there English? I don't know if there's like what do you call it? I don't know if there's a mod for it or whatever. But also White Zowski wins this. But yeah, I remember I got to a point and I couldn't figure it out. But then there was this one word that was in green. It said a bunch of words and then it said one word in green. So I wrote that down and I'm like, I don't know what this says. I'm like 10 years old at the time. I'm playing this on like Visual Boy Advance or something. And then later on, I was like trying to memorize what those characters looked like so I could instinctively see it. And like hours later, Lumpia, why am I writing Lumpia? It's lump of coal. There was a parrot that had the same letters. So I'm like, oh, I must have to catch this parrot. And so I caught the parrot and it was like, oh, congratulations, you opened a door to the next area. And then immediately I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing again. And then I stopped playing. I felt so smart for like figuring out the puzzle, and then, which it wasn't a puzzle at all. It was like, go catch a parrot. Like there's no puzzle. It's just I didn't speak the language. Breath of Fire looking? Yeah, it does kind of have the Breath of Fire vibe for sure. All right, here we go. Lump of Coal and Marzia. Bootleg ROM translation stream when? I can just play Monster Rancher Battle Card for the Game Boy. It's worse than most. It actually has, like, I think of any game I've played, the worst official translation. Like, actual nightmare. I wouldn't be surprised if worse games exist, but I haven't seen them. And you would have to try real hard to convince me. Reminds me when they used to put entire JP games untranslated on PS demo discs and we're like, you literally can't save with this BIOS. If you can finish the game without reading it, good on you. Restart the console when you give up. Entire JP games untranslated on PS demo discs. Did they really? I don't know if I've ever seen that before in my life. But yeah, with the BIOS you wouldn't be able to save, so it makes sense that they wouldn't bother. The infamous ET game that's supposed to be really bad. The ET game is like, it's infamous because it's a scapegoat more than anything else. People talk about how it's like the worst game of all time, but like, if you've played Atari games, you know that's not true because most of them are like the worst game of all time. I would say like 80% of Atari games are like not games. But I'm talking about translation specifically. Not PS, but all of Shining Force 1 was on a demo disc? Really? Huh. Real power, baby. Samurai Kick misses. He's got power still. But the real is still active, so it didn't do a lot of damage. But real has worn off now. 95% of Atari games are just as bad as ET? Yeah. It just happened to be a big flop. Where investors lost... Damn, lump of coal. Real wears out, he stops attacking, and he just dodges for the rest of it. He's like, I got mine, I'll see you later. 2-1 for lump of coal, moving on to top 8. Badger and Sweet Summer Adult up next. Yeah, it's... Like, E.T. didn't cause the gaming crash or like whatever they talk about. It's just, it was a big budget game that was rushed out as a tie-in. And it was indicative of all of the problems in the industry at the time, which was, you know, rushing out games of low quality that weren't tested, and consumers not wanting to buy games anymore because they all sucked. And they're like, I'm not spending the equivalent of $100 on this garbage. What the hell? Badger, Sweet Summer Adult. Here we go. Magic Punch, a big miss. What do we got? A Red Wisp. He's going to get withered. Got no guts left. The Blaze Wall, good chunk of damage. Puts him in the yellow. Badger can swing something light, but does not have a ton of guts. I said light, but he had just enough for hook. 32% chance to land, and it did land. Dodges the 70% Blaze Wall with power. Didn't need power. Power T-Bolt, 53 going to miss as well. And the left jab to finish him off. Damn, he's ducking and dodging. Look at that. Crazy parallels can be made from this? What are you talking about? Surely there's nothing to be gleaned from that happening once before in the year 2026. I was old enough to experience ET close to when it came out, and it honestly felt like a better game than a lot of them. Graphically, it's better than a lot of other Atari games for sure. All right, we're going to game 3. Gotta remember, like, a lot of Atari games were literally like games that would be mini games in like NES games. Like, not even like a mini game in like a PlayStation 1 game or whatever, but like a mini game in the next generation of consoles. And that was like the vast majority. He lost his Dodge game? Yeah, but he still won it. Badger wins that 2-1. Nintendo's seal of quality exists because there was too much churned out of the slop in the market. Yeah, and Nintendo marketed the NES as a toy and not as a video game. It's like, it's not a video game, it's a toy. It's for kids, it's a toy. Kavinsky and Hatera up next. Actually pretty brazen to like a Nintendo and Sega to introduce systems in like the mid 80s after everything that went down. Five damage straight sealed the deal. Yeah. It's unfortunate. All right, Kavinsky and Hatera, here we go. Yeah, I have a big library of Atari games. I think I got it in a cereal box. It's got like 100, 200 Atari games, and most of them are like actual dog ass. And, you know, by today's standards, obviously, but I can't imagine enjoying them as a kid either. Like, there's a lot of really fun stuff on it, but there's a lot of stuff that's like, I can see why Q*bert was big, you know? Like, if you're sitting there being like, I wish I was playing Q*bert instead, then I don't know, man. Hatera wins game 1. The big bite miss. Long punch. The bite miss. 1-2. He's swinging. Kavinsky in a pretty good spot, but needs to stop getting bit. Hits the somersault. The crits, it's not enough. Hatera still in. It goes for combination. Would have killed, obviously. Kavinsky going to take game number 2. I bust out some shitty consoles just for the curio of it. Sometimes I don't think I've turned on an Atari in a dozen years. Yeah, I get that for sure. There was a time when I was in college, my roommate and I, he had like found libraries for like every NES game, every Master System game, every Atari game, and we were playing through all of the NES games. And every now and then we'd hit something where it's like, this kind of sucks, but like whatever. Let's go on to the next one. Master System, same type of thing. It's like, I would say 1 in every 10 was like, would not play more than 5 minutes of it before we're like, this is stupid. Let's see what else there is. But Atari, it probably had like a 90% miss rate. Where like we'd put it in and then it'd just be like, nah, this sucks. Like instantly. The sheer joy of handing a zoomer in television is worth every moment of the worst version of Smash TV. Oh man. And television Smash TV, I've never played it on a television. Fat Dog on a Run, he's going crazy. This player versus player? No, this is AI versus AI. These are all made by people. Like, players have submitted these monsters, but it's done through AI versus AI. It's too hard to like line up the time zones because like I'm in Canada, a lot of the player base is in like Indonesia and the Philippines. You know, we got people West Coast, East Coast, North America. Even that's a 3-hour difference, so it's all over the place. Could never have, and this is like a very small tournament. This is the finals of a long season we've been doing. We're gonna have a champion crowned at the end of the day today, and even that, only 22 monsters left after like hundreds were in it. So trying to get even 22 people together would be just a nightmare. Also, like making the kids at work have to enter their names on my copy of Smash Smash using T9. Tons of typo names that went on to become usernames. That's so sick. One of my top 3 monster collectors, Monster Rancher #1. Monkey Puncher doesn't count, I think, as a monster collector, but I do really like Monkey Puncher. Monkey Puncher is like a Monster Rancher like. It's like a Princess Maker like. But yeah, Monster Rancher #1. I like Pokemon. Like, there's so many of the creature collectors are just Pokemon but worse. And like, it's my biggest gripe with the genre as a whole, is that Pokemon was inspired by, you know, Ultraman and like so many other things, and all the Pokemon games are inspired by Pokemon. Like Pal World, I enjoyed Pal World. Oh, whoops. Monster Rancher is so far ahead of everything else, in my opinion, that I don't know. It's probably like Pokemon DQM. But I like Cassette Beasts. I don't think it's at the same level, but I enjoyed it. Monster Sanctuary. Really good game. Really liked Monster Sanctuary. Ethermancer, swing and a miss. Better luck next time, fellas. Alright, I just want to make sure there's only one game. Fan of SMT? Yeah, I haven't played any of the SMT games, so I don't have a very strong opinion on them. One could say it's noble of me to not have a strong opinion on a video game I haven't played. They have a new roguelike monster game? Yeah, it's called Ethermancer. I don't like it. I don't think it's very good. Alright, 1-1 going into game 3. Ethermancer is very, like, it's dense for the sake of being dense, I think. Like, it's still in early access, is it? Games gotta stop releasing in early access like a year before they come out. But anyway, I don't think my qualms with the game are things that they will fix. Because my problems, as Primus, right? My problems are, like, structural. I think they tried too hard to make a system that is like, you can do whatever you want. You can like combine all these different things to get a bunch of like a million different effects. And it just feels so heavy. It's just like, there is so much to think about at any given time. And it's just, it's too dense. And it's not even like, it's not dense in a way where it feels like I have a lot of agency. It's dense in a way where it feels like it's a different language. And I say this as someone who's like beaten many runs on it with like I beat it with like the modifiers that like make it harder and stuff. It was just, I don't know. I wouldn't even say I didn't like it. I just don't feel the need to play it endlessly. I think because it's a roguelike, it's set up to be a game that you play over and over and over again. And that's not how I enjoyed my time with it. I liked beating a run once or twice and then being like, okay, that's fine. Which, I mean, is, you know, not a problem. You mean you don't blindly hate on a game you've never played? I know, it's crazy. Subnautica 2 cackling like a villain on a throne of skulls. Is that like is Subnautica 2 still in early access? Yu-Gi-Oh! The False-Bound Kingdom? I just realized you said that. What about the Game Boy Advance Dungeon Dice Monsters game? Did that ever come to the West, or was that Japan only? Trample's such a scary move. Yeah, it's fucked up. Released into early access recently and smashed the requirements to make Crafton hit the full payout. Really? Damn. We got Dungeon Dice Monsters? Okay, I only ever played it in Japan language, because the disc I got with all of the ripped Game Boy Advance games came out before it came out in the West, I think. Okay. I'm like straight up not paying any attention anymore. I'm sorry, guys. God, it's been so long since I streamed. 2 million copies in one day. That's fucking crazy. What the hell? Good for them, man. Golden Brown wins. Okay, just 1-all. My bad. We'll start paying attention for like the last 4. Don't worry. EDM is fun. It's just way too easy. I mean, I beat it in a language I couldn't understand. Granbo. There's no way I remember Granbo. Okay, here we go. That's not even counting the degenerates like me playing on Game Pass. Damn, this man's got Game Pass. That's crazy. Hey, Azzy Fox. Thank you for the follow. We get a Shockwave. He's into the yeller. Golden Brown is kind of yellow. Long punch, big miss. That trample, though? Oh, he grits. He's still in it. Your stepdad has Game Pass? Oh, okay. The double trample? Oh, my God. How you doing? I'm doing good. We're doing a little bit of Monster Rancher Tournament. We got our finals of heavyweight division happening right now. All right, we're in top 8. White Zowski and Lump of Coal. Man, I didn't realize I couldn't drink like 2 alcoholic drinks anymore. I didn't realize my tolerance was so fucked up. Holy moly. I didn't feel like drunk anymore, but I'm just sleepy now. I've only been streaming for like 3 hours. 2.5. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, I got drunk on 2 drinks accidentally. It was not my intention. But I have not had alcohol in like almost a month because I've been cutting for a fight. And it has backfired today because I have no tolerance anymore, apparently. And I already like didn't drink much to begin with. The double back blow miss. He hits 2 spits. Look at that. He's in the yellow. He needs 2 more to finish it. Telekinesis. Ooh, that would have done it. But he dodges. Big dodge there. The spit lands. Lump of Coal in a little bit of trouble. Gets smoked with the I-beam. White Zowski just swanging. Next one. Here we go. Yodel opener. Big miss on the Yodel. He's down 40 guts. Telekinesis. A little bit of damage. But Lump of Coal. 60% chop combo? Holy shit, dude. Here we go. Game 3. Yodel 43%. Big miss. Telekinesis. Big miss. The kiss. Big miss. Electric blow. I mean, it would have killed. Chop combo definitely would have killed as well. Telekinesis. We finally have some damage. Lump of Coal needs to land something. 12 seconds left on the clock. A kiss. He misses it, but it's running down the clock. He needs something. Slap's not going to be enough. He needs something else. Oh, he walks backwards instead of trying to swing another slap. Another slap would have done it, but he didn't go for it. Didn't have that killer spirit, you know? 2-1 for Wojciechowski. Badger, and Hatera up next. Bajarl doing pretty well in the league. Interesting monster, because on paper he's pretty crappy. But he's been doing pretty good. It makes the video I got to put out on him pretty interesting, because it's like, as much as like the vibe is that he's not strong, he's been doing okay. Maybe that'll be the whole video, is just like big question mark. Yeah, I don't know. 702 builds help Bajarl a lot. Yeah, because like Hook does that. Well, I mean, Hatter is a tank. 2 hooks? Fuck. Pretty good tank killer, and then a Hook instantly kills anyone with 700 life. Honestly, 2 early hooks, not too bad. Hatter can come back into the straight. Hatter's got 99 guts and anger. He just keeps swinging. Stab, yeah, you're super dead. 1-1 going into game 3. Hatero wants Badger to swing first. If he can swing a bunch of left jabs, yeah, this is like perfect for Hatero. Look at that. No real damage and a guts lead. Misses a couple of moves. The hook gonna do a huge chunk of damage. A lot of anger. Oh, the angry 1-2. A little bit of damage. A ton of guts into the combination. Holy. The 1-2, 3-4, 5. The dog wins it. Too many guts. Dog making the run. Badger. Congratulations on top 8, but that's the end of the road. Manly Oak and Wojciechowski up next. That was a match. Holy. The Suezo got to take out 2 Gaboos back to back. Last week we saw one of our finals. Middleweight rank C. 3. There's 4 Suezos in top 6. And top 3 was all 3 pink guys. It's the first time it's ever happened in competitive Monster Rancher where the top 3 monsters have all been the exact same. Never happened ever before. Was interesting, but, you know, not interesting at the same time because he knew pink eye was going to win. That's like 4 eyes? Yeah. It's the yo. Always proud of him even when he loses. Chop combo. Manly Oak. Doing... Well, I was going to say what Lumpicoal couldn't, but he did also hit him with the move last time. Telekinesis big miss at 70 and at 66, or 67 rather. The kiss is going to miss. This kick. Unstoppable. Manly Oak moving on. Quick 2-0. Battenbug and Hatera up next. Another kind of tough matchup for a tank. But then again, Color Pandora is built to beat everything. It has one of the most oppressively accurate attacks in the entire game with Kamikaze, and it has one of the cheapest damage dealers in Giant Whip. And you just get both and then you beat all opponents. Whole bracket is tough on tanks. Yeah, heavyweight. Everybody's running at least 1 nuke in heavyweight. Alright, here we go. The stab? Landing a lot of 50-50 stabs. Not too bad for Hatera. Hatera probably wants to see Spiral Rush. It's definitely worst damage for its cost out of all of Battenbug's options. Though the high critical hit rate does make it spooky. Yeah, if you're going to get hit by the crits, it's different. Not even bringing up phase attack? Yeah, my bad. It is the best move in the game. Another stab opener. Spiral Rush, kind of a big comeback. Hatteran not getting anger. It doesn't have the anger in its bones anymore. It's just happy to be here. The Giant Whip gonna finish him off. No grit. Battenbug takes it. 2-0. Hatteran gets 5th place. Congratulations. Alright, we got our top 4. Primus and Golden Brown up first. Primus was the top ranked monster coming into this. Golden Brown was up there as well. Here we go. Ooh, big miss. Punch combo gonna land though? 600 damage gives him power. You're in trouble. You're in danger, Primus. It's not over yet. Oh, the triple stabs finisher. Look at that. Look at that. First time we've seen triple stabs tonight, I think. Don't quote me. I haven't been paying any attention. Triple stabs, big miss. Trying to make up for lost time, I suppose. Hits another tail whip. And another tail whip. Into the yellow. Oh, 33% trample, but he grits. I didn't hear no bell. Beaklon combo, 50%? Oh my god, dude. What a champ. Primus has to win the whole thing, though. What a play. 2-0 for Primus. Freya just won last week. She's gonna win again? It could happen. Manly Oak and Battenbug up next. I gotta start thinking about who I want to win because I'm gonna draw little doodles of all the winners. Like I did last season. Alright. Manly Oak and Battenbug, here we go. Of all the monsters I drew, I think Gaboo was the hardest to draw. And like, get the vibe right. Yeah, your first turn win, tourney win in lightweight with your pink eye, right? Yeah. Manly Oak, gonna take it. Battenbug took it. What am I talking about? Ooh, the Samurai Kick, big miss. Face attack. The slap. Wasn't Siren middleweight? Still haven't won a Moose tourney? Battenbug with a quick 2-0. Holy. The Color Pandora wants it. Alright. Well, we've got 2 top tiers fighting now. We got Dragon, we got Color Pandora. Both of these monsters extremely strong in heavyweight. Beaklon, heavyweight is probably Beaklon's best format. Siren's lightweight. I don't know if we have run my middleweight entries yet. Killer Queen here. Quick. Let me check. I mean, rank C's over. I don't even think Killer Queen was in it. It didn't make finals. Monsters do rule. All right. We're in top 3. I forgot to set a prediction. Let's set a prediction right now. You guys can bet What do you guys like? Yeah, Killer Queen's ranked C middleweight, but it did not make the final cut. I'm about to unlock my disc all over right now. I was going to say my monster one, but I don't have a monster in this. What do we got? 77% on Golden Brown. Here we go. The trample miss. Tail attack miss. Bat and Bug in a huge spot. Spiral rush. Oh, hits. Does not kill. Does not give power, though. And then the tail swing finishes him off. Oh, yeah. We have a whole gacha system to roll discs. And the only way to do it is with channel points. And the only way to get channel points is by, you know, either watching or being a god tier predictioner. So get on those predictions. Roll those discs. Bat and Bug wins game 1. Giant Whip, big ol' miss. Trample 41%. You got smooshed. We're going to game 3 just like that. Here we go. Oh, the trample miss. Kamikaze 71%. Going to be a good chunk. Into the Giant Whip, the classic combo. Bat and Bug takes it. And it is making it all the way to the finals. Bat and Bug with the run through losers. 2-1. Golden Brown gets 3rd place. Congratulations. Primus and Bat and Bug. Here we go. First to 5 wins. You got your grand finals right now. A bug is going to win it, but which bug? Did it freeze? It broke? Okay. I've never seen that happen. What the hell? But it was Beaklon for like a split second. So maybe that's a sign. I just want to see something real quick. Yeah, okay. I did everything right, yeah. So there was an issue with the play-ins, and I spoke about this earlier, where Bat and Bug actually played in the play-ins and won the whole thing. But it already had a bye. So, you know, it was too late to change everything because the whole tournament had ended. So I gave the top 8 monsters from that tournament a place instead of the top 6. But yeah, it's made it again. It knows what's up. Okay. Prediction is live. First to 5 wins. Here we go. If you're betting on Primus, you're expecting it to win 1 set. If you're betting on Bat and Bug, you're expecting it to win 2 sets. Stream is bug maxing. I trust the sign. Don't see a lot of Tigers in heavyweight. Yeah, I mean, Tiger is more of like a middleweight monster, I think, but it's really strong in middleweight. They got to be fat in heavyweight. Yeah. Did anyone use tram? Yeah, there was a tram. Again, this is like finals. This league had like almost 300 monsters in it across a couple of different weight classes. But a tram did make the top cut of this tournament that happened tonight. So that's pretty cool. 55% on Primus. Here we go. Giant Whip. Big damage to start things off. Punch. A little bit of damage to follow things up. Heavy punch. Do we see Maximal Punch after? Nah. Oh, he grits. He's not out of it yet. Another heavy punch. B-Clone combo? You gotta watch out, Bug. Primus. That's twice in a row. He's thrown the guts, or the grit, rather. The grit B-Clone combo for the win. Hair? No hairs tonight. Hair's very popular, though. It's a really strong monster. Okay, Primus up 2-0. Spiral Rush, big damage. Yeah, not a single hair tonight. Kind of interesting. Your hair is welterweight. All right, 2-1 going into game 4. Oh my god, the B-Clone combo. Jesus. Captain Black Dino? Captain Black Dino's not in this game, unfortunately. Is it Monster Rancher 1? There's no dinos in this game. There's zooms in this game. Was that exact damage? I thought it was like way more, but I wasn't paying attention. My Fate apparently doesn't like hair. Your Fate doesn't like it, eh? 4-1. Prime is running away with this, man. Holy. On tournament point. Heavy punch. Bat and Bug. Hits the Giant Whip. Big damage there. Into the Kamikaze. Oh. The kind of sacred combo. Another Giant Whip. All right. Bat and Bug's not out yet. 4-2. Signs of Life from the Peachtree Bug. Rolling Bomb. Little chunk of damage there. Pretty accurate move. Horn Strike not going to do much. Tail Swing. Bat and Bug has a lot of guts saved up. Can do a lot of damage with just the basics here. Another face attack. Misses that one. Misses that one as well. Maximal Punch. I was saying we got to see the Maximal Punch, and Primus wins the entire league with it. Congratulations, Freya. Freya's won twice. She won with the Nighton as well, so congratulations to her. B-Clone wins a thing. B-Clone wins a big thing. Rank C is not like the upper echelon, but it's the middle echelon. So congratulations. Very, very cool. And that's it. The Bug did the thing. The Bug beat the other Bug. Bat and Bug did real good. Bat and Bug only lost to Primus. Double eliminated. 5-2. Happy Pride Month. Hell yeah. All right. So let's take a look at the monsters and we'll see what's up. All right. So Primus, 5 wins, no losses. Bat and Bug on its heels. Golden Brown, 3rd place. Congratulations to our top 3. Manly Oak gets 4th. Hatterra with 5th, tied with Whitezowski. Badger, and Lump of Coal to round out our top 8. Congratulations, everybody. Then we had Kavinsky, Marzia, Rambo Commandu, Sweet Summer Adult, Buzz Slappin', Okani Jr., War Emblem, We Spinnin', Beef Tank, Love Train, Pepper Steak, Rise and Grind, Tears and Rain, and Wrath.exe. Wrath.exe was a new monster, so it made the finals like almost immediately. Love to see a middle tier beat a high tier. Yeah, it's pretty sick when it happens. Other fun stuff. Jarl in top 8. 2 Gaboos in top 8. Pretty cool. And then, yeah, top tier. I mean, Primus doing real good. And not only did it beat Bat and Bug, it beat it twice. You know? So, it owns that. All right, so I was going to play a little bit of Pokemon Auto Chess, but I'm a lot more tired than I thought I was going to be, so I think we might just call it an early night. I am probably not going to be up late on Friday because I have the match on the Saturday, but I think we might do a little stream or something. I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So maybe we can stream on Sunday as well. I can talk about the tournament or whatever, the fight or whatever. I'm definitely not streaming after the fight. That'd be crazy. We'll see how I feel on Saturday, but or Sunday rather. But yeah, I definitely don't have the energy to keep going. But we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll throw in another stream sometime this week. Maybe Wednesday during the day. for sparring or something. It won't be a league thing. It won't be a DXBL thing. I want that to be at the time everybody expects, Monday at 8 p.m. But yeah, let's go raid somebody. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. See, who am I following? Who am I following that's streaming? A lot of cool people, as per usual. Let's see if anyone's playing Monster Rancher real quick. Any new Monster Rancher people raid? No. Typing in Monster Ranch gives me a bunch of Monster Sanctuary streamers. A lot of people streaming Monster Sanctuary. That's not the same game though. So we'll just we'll raid a homie. All right. Who are we raiding? Let's go raid Hot Dad. Okay. Hope you guys have a fantastic night. I will see you guys sooner than later. We'll have a lot to talk about with the fight. So yeah. And then ! Discord. Join the Discord. Talk to me about it there. Because, you know, it's not like I don't have the internet. I just don't have time to stream. Okay. Bye-bye. See you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support as always. You guys are the best. Just... But yeah, I gotta get some sleep. 2 beers was too much. Or 2 drinks was too much, I suppose. Bye-bye.